The story opens on a mother and her little girl living on the streets. No family, no relatives, no safe place to call home. The mother is Mabon, her daughter is Anna, she is 7. They have been walking from town to town for a long time, carrying everything they own. Mabon tells Anna they are searching for a man named Jason, the father Anna has never met. Since Anna's birth, the two have survived without savings, without a real roof, without the life most people take for granted. Even so, Mabon keeps her daughter's hope alive. She promises that their journey ends in Mississippi, Jason's birthplace, and that finding him might finally bring them a little happiness. To get by, they beg, and when there is no other choice, they steal, a line Mabon hates crossing, especially with her child beside her. On the edge of Mississippi, Mabon wants Anna to sleep on a real bed for once, so she spends what little money they have on a cheap motel room. The cash left would not feed them for 2 days, so Mabon starts looking for any way to earn. Outside, she notices women offering themselves to passing truckers. Desperate, she considers doing the same and slips out, leaving Anna in the room, hoping someone will pay. Instead of help, trouble finds her. A police officer on patrol confronts Mabon, says he suspects what she is doing, and orders her into his car. She pleads about her daughter waiting in the room, but he keeps driving, ignoring her words.
Y'all never do.
What are you doing? Hey, George! Get in there, okay? You can't do this! Get in there!
Only then does the truth hit. He is not taking her to the station. He drives to a deserted spot under a bridge and tries to assault her. He forces her to stay undressed, then calls 2 fellow officers to come to the scene, planning to let them abuse her as well. Cornered and terrified to be jailed and separated from Anna, Mabon agrees, hoping to protect her child. When the officer looks away for a moment, she grabs his gun from the front seat and fires twice. He dies there.
Don't you know not to play with guns, girl, huh?
Put it down!
Back at the motel, Anna realizes her mother is gone and breaks down in tears. The locked door keeps her trapped and afraid. When Mabon finally returns, Anna cries even harder, and Mabon holds her tight, clinging to the only family she has. Welcome to Desperation Road. Now we shift to another story thread. A man named Russell has just been released from prison after spending 7 years behind bars. His crime was a drunk driving accident that took the life of a young man. Even now, Russell carries the weight of that guilt everywhere he goes. The years in prison did nothing to ease it. When he returns to his hometown in Mississippi, he is immediately confronted by a man named Larry and Larry's brother. The young man who died in that accident was Larry's son. Without hesitation, Larry lashes out, unable to forgive the person who took his child away.
You ain't out of my reach, boy.
You all right, man? Jesus.
Russell eventually makes it to his father's home. His father, Mitchell, along with his new wife, welcomes him warmly. The moment feels like a small chance at normal life. Later, Russell and Mitchell talk quietly outside the house. Russell reveals the truth that has been haunting him. No matter how much time has passed, the memory of that night never leaves him. He sees the face of the young man every moment, awake or asleep. Mitchell understands his son needs space and time to breathe. He suggests that Russell stay in their old house near the edge of town, away from people who might be looking for trouble. He even hands Russell a hunting rifle, just in case Larry decides to come after him again. But Russell doesn't last long in isolation. He heads to a bar to try to relax, but the noise, crowds, and loud voices only make his anxiety worse. He walks out, unable to quiet his mind. On the road, he pulls over and sits in his car. The guilt is overwhelming. It's what some call a guilt complex, when someone feels responsible all the time, even before anything happens, leading to anxiety and shame that never fade. A patrol car eventually pulls up beside him. The officer is Boyd, an old friend from childhood.
When'd you get home?
Give me some love, man. I'm staying.
Boyd is strict with the rules, so when he notices the rifle, he has no choice but to question him. Technically, having it in the car like that is illegal. But because of their history, Boyd lets him go with only a warning and tells him to head home. Meanwhile, Mabon and Anna have found temporary shelter in a homeless relief house. It's not much, but it's safe and dry. Mabon asks if there is any work available, and the staff directs her to a nearby cafe. There, she is able to start working in the kitchen, washing dishes and earning just enough to keep moving forward with her daughter. Meanwhile, Larry is still consumed by anger. One evening, he waits outside Russell's old house, expecting him to return. When Russell doesn't show up, Larry smashes the door and windows with a crowbar, letting his rage take over. Elsewhere, Mabon has begun working at the cafe. For a short while, her days are simple and warm. She works, she watches Anna smile, and she finally feels a bit of peace. But one day after her shift, she discovers her belongings have been removed from the shelter. The gun she has been hiding is gone. It is the same gun from the night under the bridge. Proof of what she did. Instead of throwing it away and freeing herself, she held on to it, and now she has to get it back. She and Anna have no choice but to flee. They sneak back into the shelter office, retrieve the gun, and run. Just as they escape, Russell is stepping out of a bar. Mabon raises the gun and forces him to drive them away.
Don't move.
Where?
Just go. Get away from the lads.
On the road, Anna needs to use the bathroom, so they pull over. In that moment of distraction, Russell easily takes the gun from Mabon. But instead of reacting with anger, fear, or force, he stays calm. He doesn't call the police. He doesn't push her out of the car. He simply asks her to tell him who she is and where she is trying to go. They sit somewhere quiet. Mabon finally speaks openly. She admits she has no plan, no destination, nothing to hold on to except her daughter. Anna is the reason she wakes up every day. She explains what happened with the officer, how fear led her to pull the trigger. Russell can't argue. The man deserved what happened. Then he asks about Anna's father. Mabon tells him the father died 7 years ago, the same number of years Russell has been haunted by guilt. The pieces begin to connect. Russell feels even more sympathy for her and her child. Meanwhile, Larry goes to his ex-wife's house to see his younger son. His life collapsed after his first son's death. He turned to alcohol, lost control, and hurt those around him. His grief turned into destruction, which only separated him further from his family. Understanding his hatred toward Russell is easy. The man who caused the accident did not just take his son, it destroyed his home too. The next day, Russell brings Mabon and Anna to his father's place. Mitchell allows them to stay in the old barn behind the house. There is a mattress there, and when Anna sees it, her face lights up. For the first time in a long time, she sleeps like a child should. Mitchell treats them kindly. He even takes Anna fishing, and for a moment, Russell feels like he is part of a family again. But Larry is still spiraling. He shows up drunk at his younger son's soccer game. His ex-wife is furious. The boy backs away, uncomfortable and afraid. Larry loses control again until the police are forced to intervene.
You ain't talking to me. You ain't talking to me. Huh? Boy, sit the fuck down. You think I can hit you with this?
Think about that.
What am I gonna... Damn it, Larry. Son, enough. She'll ruin your fucking life.
After he is released, he and his brother drive to his oldest son's grave. Larry leaves a single coin there. Not flowers, not prayers, just something small and heavy. It is a quiet, painful moment. We see clearly that Larry is not a monster. He is a man shattered, desperate to be heard, but alone in his grief. Back with Russell and Mabon, the two finally share a quiet moment together. They open up about their past, their mistakes, and the weight they've been carrying. When it's Russell's turn, he finally speaks about the accident from 7 years ago. He explains that on that night, he had been arguing with his girlfriend. He drank, drove off in anger, and never should have been behind the wheel. On a dark road, a couple had parked their car right in the middle of the street, lights turned off, assuming no one would be driving at that hour. Russell never saw them in time. He hit the car and the young man inside was crushed and died instantly. And then the truth finally lands. The couple in that car was Mabon and Jason. Jason, the father of Anna. Jason, the son that Larry lost. The accident that destroyed one family led to Mabon and her daughter living on the streets for years, and Russell has been haunted by it ever since. There is nothing left to say. The pain is shared, heavy, and real. But instead of anger, Mabon accepts that everything has already happened and cannot be undone. She simply asks Russell not to repeat the mistakes of his past and to drive safely from now on. Wanting to protect her from further danger, Russell urges Mabon to throw the gun away. Keeping it will only continue dragging the past forward, and she lets it fall into the water, watching it sink out of sight.
Mark it down.
The next morning, Boyd arrives. A report has come in about the shooting of a police officer. Witnesses at the shelter described a woman with a gun, and Mabon's name is now on the police radar. Boyd and the others come to ask Russell if he has seen her. Russell stays calm, pretending he knows nothing, even though Mabon and Anna are now living peacefully with his father's family. But Boyd starts to feel something is off. He goes to the barn where Mabon and Anna sleep and forces his way in. The two quickly hide in the loft above. Before Boyd can climb the ladder, Russell's stepmother catches him and threatens to report him for trespassing. Boyd leaves, but now he knows something is being hidden. He heads straight to Russell to demand the truth. Russell denies everything. Realizing the situation is getting dangerous, Russell rushes home and urges Mabon to leave town immediately. If she loves Anna, she must go alone. Leaving her daughter behind is the last thing she wants, but she understands that staying will only bring the police to their door. With a heavy heart, Mabon agrees to run. At the same time, Larry is reaching his breaking point. His grief, anger, and loneliness have blended into something he can no longer control. In his mind, every part of his ruined life leads back to Russell. The loss of his son, his broken marriage, the distance from his remaining child. All of it. So he decides to take action. Larry hides inside Russell's house, waiting in the dark with a crowbar. Soon, Russell arrives with Mabon. They are only there to grab supplies before Mabon leaves town. But before Russell notices anything, Larry swings. The blow misses Russell and instead hits Mabon, knocking her unconscious. Russell reacts instantly, and the two men fight. Larry manages to get hold of the hunting rifle hidden under the bed. He points it at Russell, ready to end everything. But at the last moment, Mitchell arrives and fires a shot. The bullet hits Larry in the side. Mitchell urges him to stay still and promises to call for help. But Larry's no longer thinking clearly. He stumbles out, gets in his truck, and drives away. Bleeding and in shock, he heads straight to his ex-wife's house to see his younger son one last time. His family panics, calling the police. Larry tries to drive off again, still drunk, still overwhelmed, until the truck loses control. The crash is fatal. Larry dies alone on the road. Meanwhile, Russell rushes Mabon to the hospital so she can receive treatment. Not long after, Boyd arrives. He wants answers, not as a police officer, but as someone who knows Russell well. So Russell tells him everything. About the shooting, about the gun, about Mabon's desperation. Then Russell makes a request. He asks Boyd not to arrest her. Russell has spent 7 years carrying guilt, and now he finally sees a chance to use that pain for something good. He offers to take the blame himself. He even hands Boyd the police bullet that would tie him to the shooting. Boyd thinks for a long moment, and instead of letting Russell throw his life away, he finds another way. He places the bullet in Larry's wrecked truck. When investigators find it, they will believe Larry was the one responsible for the shooting. The case will close without Mabon being hunted again. In the end, Russell has lifted the weight from Mabon and Anna's shoulders. They stay with Mitchell and his wife, safe at last. And Russell realizes something important. Sometimes guilt and regret are not there to destroy us. They are there to teach us, to shape us, to remind us to grow kinder and wiser than we were before. The story ends on that quiet understanding. So the moral of the story is sometimes life breaks people long before they ever get a chance to heal. And the only thing that saves us is the kindness we choose to give, even when we are hurting too.